Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 Dodge Charger Scat Pack. This model is finished off in After Dark, and with options, MSRP is right around $60,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter twin-turbo inline-6 high-output engine, paired only now to an 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 550 horsepower, 551 pound-feet of torque. It is primarily all-wheel drive, however, there is an option for 100% of the torque to go to the rear wheels. Weighs in around 4,800 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds and has a top speed of 177 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 17.5 gallons. You'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and 24 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 121 inches. Its overall length is 206.3. It has a width of 79.9, a height of 59, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.5 inches. Now, as we move on to the exterior styling, this is a completely new body compared to the previous model. Up front, you'll notice there's a tribute to the 1960s heritage with the Fratza logo there, and it's also on the wheels too, so it's a neat touch to see. Now up front, you'll also notice the sunken-in design for the LEDs, along with the turn signals and the DRL strip that runs from headlight housing to headlight housing to mimic some of the previous models. Now there's also a forward camera, parking sensors, a sensor for distance pacing, there's gloss black for the lower section of the bumper, and then up top you'll notice 6-pack on the heat extraction vent, which is functional, so that's a neat design. Now this paint After Dark also has a bluish green hue to it, so depending on the lighting, it will show different shades there with the metallic color, so it's definitely a neat color scheme for this model. Now this also has Brembo brakes, and then you'll notice the 20-inch wheels. They are 11 inches wide for this model. Now this also has carbon fiber for the mirrors. There's also a camera underneath, and then you'll notice the full panoramic roof. So that is see-through and it is fixed, so there's no opening sunroof. As we take a step back, it has a really unique design to it. There are some lines and angles that mimic the previous generation. And one thing to note, the 2-door Charger is actually the same length as the 4-door here. So interesting to see that. Now in back, there's also the gloss black spoiler, LEDs for the lighting, you get a backup camera, parking sensors, and then Charger is stamped in the lower section of the bumper. And this also has remote start. So lock the vehicle and double tap on that control. Let's take a listen. I think it has a really good sound to it, even though it's not the V8. Now you also have a control on the key fob, or that one on the right side, and you can open up the hatchback, which is new for the Charger. So that will allow you to put in a little bit more items. You do also have some storage under the floor, along with that tire kit. And then of course you can fold the back seats down. There's no way to do that from back here, so you do have to walk around, but you also have the control for the trunk right there. So you don't have to reach up as high, which is nice. Now, as we work our way to the interior, the door panel has a neat design to it. You'll notice all of the carbon fiber. There's also the electronic release, storage in the lower section, lock and unlock the window control, some of the red stitching too. Which, interesting to note, there's no manual release for the back doors. There's one for the front doors, but you don't get that for the back. Now with the rest of the seats, you'll notice the Alcantara and leather, and then we pull on that release, you can fold the seat down. So that gives you, again, a lot more practicality for the back of this vehicle. Now you'll notice too, you can see through the front sport bucket seat, which is neat. You also have storage pockets. These are heated seats. There's auxiliaries and some vents there. And then at my height, I'm just barely touching the headliner, which is Alcantara for this model. But I could ride around town. You can fit a car seat back here. You can use this as a practical family sedan. You also have the armrest with cup holders. A little bit of a pillar right there, but over the last couple of days of driving this, that hasn't been an issue. So you have this section here, but I've been able to see very well. And then up front, you have the window controls, memory seating adjustments, and then lock and unlock, a lot more storage down below, and then you do get that manual release for the front doors. You have automatic seats, which also have an automatic leg extension, and then a really cool design for the insert for these seats. And then as we hop in, the start button is actually located behind the shifter. So let's bring this back to life, take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, there's quite a lot that you can go through using controls on the left side, where there's also Bluetooth and voice commands. So if I start using those arrows, you'll notice on this side, there's the dots that go up and down. So let's start scrolling up and down, where you can go through the vehicle information that's provided within this tab, and then you can go left and right. So if you don't see those 3 circles on the left side, that means there's no information to scroll through, like for your audio there. You have the head-up display too, so you can configure this and go through all of that information. Any messages to look at. You also have the screen setup, so you can adjust the upper left, the upper right with what you would like to see, and then you even have performance settings too. So you can monitor all of this and have that front and center. You can also adjust the information that you would like to see. So just depending on what you're doing for the day, you have a few settings within that. Now this also has paddle shifters, still retains volume and tuning. That's underneath on both sides. There's all the cruise control settings on the right, and then the left side you have different driving modes. So just by toggling the arrows there, the gauge cluster will actually change too. So when you go into sport mode, now we have a little bit different of a view. All that information is viewed on the far left. You can get into wet and snow, and then there's also an auto setting too, and the customizable setting, which you can go through as needed. And then on this left, you have the hood release, headlight adjustments, a dimmer switch for the gauges, more Alcantara with 1 vent, the head-up display, like I mentioned, and then this neat step-up design with more carbon fiber and stitching, and then charger over on that passenger side. Now with the infotainment system, you have a lot to go through. On the far edges, this has heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, you have volume, tuning, and then even shutting the screen off. Now if we start on home, you do have this split view. So you can look at all this information and customize it as needed, depending on what you'd like to see. You can quickly get into music, along with climates. You have more controls for the seats and steering wheel there, and your temperature, of course, fan speed. You have your phone when that's paired. And then under vehicle, if we start on this left side, you can get into some of the camera settings. You have sensors. There's also this dashboard here too. So you can get into the performance pages and monitor all of this. Very neat to see in a factory vehicle. So really neat to see all of that information. You can even get into race options where you have launch control. You can activate where you'd like the RPM for that, even a line lock too. So you can do some burnouts as well. And then you have driving modes in the lower section. So this is how you can get into some of the rear wheel drive settings. Just depending on the mode that you are in, you can set all of that up accordingly. Now you can also look at various apps here, get into the navigation as well. And then if you go back into vehicle, you have some more controls here and various settings depending on how you want everything set up. Now underneath that, you do have a separated control panel for your temperature, fan speed, and defrosters. There's vents underneath that, and then engine start stop, parking sensors, lane keeping assist, traction control, launch control, auxiliaries, wireless charging, and more storage. You have a jet fighter type shifter where this has the 360 camera view. So you have no shortage of visibility with all of those angles. You also get the camera system within the turn signal. So put it into drive, put the turn signal on. Now we have our right view and our left view, and it gives you a full screen depiction, which is super helpful. Now you'll notice the e-brake, there's also cup holders. You get an auxiliary with storage, a locking glove box with more Alcantara, and then the rear view, sunglass holder. There's some call controls. You can open up the lift gate, dome lights, and garage door buttons. And then here's a look at visibility. You have that large fixed glass too, so that provides a lot of light. We have a lot of visibility over both shoulders. As we set off behind the wheel now for the latest Dodge Charger 4-door, let's activate launch control as you've already seen in this video. So with my foot on the brake, simply just push on that control. It will tell you to apply brake pressure. Once you have it far enough down, continue to hold brake, punch and hold full throttle. So here we go. Enabled, active. There's 60. Woo! And we're up to speed. Now, for the weight of this sedan, 0 to 60 in around 4 seconds is still very impressive. It would just be nice if somehow this didn't weigh quite as much. It is a big vehicle, it's a wide vehicle. You definitely have to learn the weight of it, especially going around these turns. But you can still have a performance vehicle that can do more than just go in a straight line. So you have launch control, obviously, to get up to speed and have some fun like that. but this has been handling well on some of these back roads. I've done a couple down and backs just to get my bearings with it. It is a wide vehicle, so this is a narrow road, but it's a big vehicle, so it is something to learn, and obviously the more you drive it, the more familiar you will become with it. And this is only the second time I've been able to check out the four-door Scat Pack, but with this model here, we can drive it a little bit more and really experience what this latest Dodge Charger has to offer. For its weight around these turns, I'm gonna say it is very solid feeling. You just have to learn, obviously, when you need to brake, when you can apply the throttle to help with the weight of this vehicle. But it seems super composed feeling for what it is. Now, with this latest model, if you're unfamiliar with the new Dodge Charger, this was first introduced as a full EV. And after the EV came out, then came these twin turbo engines. So there's no more Hellcats anymore for the Charger. There's no more Challenger either. So you get a Charger 4-door or a Charger 2-door instead of having the Challenger name. And then you have a few options depending on how you'd like to spec it. This is the Scat Pack, kind of in the middle of the trim level from what I've seen building them online. You can go a little bit higher. I think the Daytona Scat Pack is the highest trim level. So the mid $40,000 range to the mid $60,000 range, just depending on your budget and what you're looking to get. Now, I think this is a really unique futuristic design for this sedan. The Dodge Charger has been very popular from Dodge for quite some time, and I definitely think it's a unique new design. Having the hatchback gives you a little bit more practicality. It's the same with the two-door as well. This is the same length as the two-door, which is also interesting to see. So essentially, they are the same exact vehicle. You just have doors or no passenger doors. Everything else is identical in terms of the rear hatch, things like that. So it is neat, some of those practicality aspects. You can still fit 4 or 5 people in the two-door as well. That's how big of a vehicle it is. But driving this the last couple of days, it's been a really comfortable vehicle. It's very composed, like I said, with the turns, but just normal day-to-day driving, the suspension is super forgiving, and it's a really easy vehicle to maneuver, even though it has the wider width compared to the previous generation, and it is a big vehicle for a sedan, but I've had no issues with maneuverability. That turning radius was very tight. Seats are a little wide, especially for my body type, but I can see them being comfortable going on long trips, things like that. You have plenty of space. At 5'10", I have maybe 4.5 inches of headroom, and this is a height adjustable seat, so you could be much taller than me and still fit comfortably. You still have some people in the back seat as well. So if you're looking for a practical, all-around family style sedan and you want some power and performance, this is definitely a great option to go with. In a sense, this is the new Hellcat with the power output that this twin turbo engine has. So I think Dodge did a really good job, even though they went away from the V8, which I know a lot of people would like to see. If a Hellcat can come out, Dodge is still doing some pretty crazy things with their vehicles. They just came out with the Rumblebee, which is over 700 horsepower for the pickup truck. You think they would put a V8 back in this at some point, or give you the option, something like that. So Dodge can surprise us. They can put in a V8 again, maybe at some point, since they are available in some other vehicles still. But it would be nice to see that, but I do think that this engine definitely has a good bit of power. It's also tunable as well, being a twin turbo. You do not have a manual transmission anymore, so you just have the automatic here, which I think is fine. The paddles are pretty responsive too, so they are nice to use. And its handling is spot on. This is definitely a fun vehicle to drive. It's got a lot of looks as well. It's not something that I've seen too often yet. They are slowly entering owners' garages and getting out on the road, but it's a nice vehicle. All the materials for almost 60 grand, you have a lot of nice materials. I think for the price, Dodge did a great job with the interior materials and just the feel of how everything is laid out. And so it's still in sport mode. We are not doing launch control, but in second gear, here we go. Again, shifts are super quick, and this definitely has some power to it. It handles well and it sounds really good too. Now there's an active exhaust system within the vehicle. So when you go between sport mode and auto or custom, you can actually change it within here, within those driving modes. You also have the option of going with rear wheel drive. So if you want to have a little bit more fun, you can get into more of those custom settings with your steering, the paddle shifters as well. So you have a little bit to go through to make this a very sporty and fun sedan. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the latest Charger. And I think it's really fun. Like I said, the last couple of days driving this, it's been really cool. Everything is easy to get used to. I will say, I like that Dodge has put more controls down below. A lot of people do complain about everything being in the screen, but I think it would have been nice to see maybe a separation with these controls. It's one entire panel, so you just have to kind of push where you think you are going and go from there. So maybe individual would have been a little bit nicer. That is my only complaint with this vehicle, driving it the last couple of days. It's definitely fun, very unique looking, and it's still keeping some of that Dodge heritage with its design, some of the emblems and things like that. So super comfortable vehicle, something that you can absolutely daily drive. You do have the option of going with the EV if you would like, but with this engine and this performance and power, this is a fun vehicle. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 Dodge Charger 4-door Scat Pack. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads, and I will see you all in the next video.